Alright guys, we are back for another Dokkan Battle video. Let's go ahead and take a look at the updated. This is going to be a yellow coin LR tier list. I should have done one of these when Easy LR Turles got his. I actually was going to, but I waited like one day too late, and then we had Easy Tech Broly's details, and then I didn't want to drop the video, while we had Easy Tech Broly's details. So, this is going to be, top 10 yellow coin LRs, and it's going to be kind of the first inclusion of LR Turles as well as Easy LR Tech Broly. So we also did have one nice addition, of course, which is, the Goku, Gohan, and Trunks team. Remember, we do have to start factoring that in for some characters. Let's start right here. We have STRUI Goku at number 10. Now, I'm not an STRUI Goku defender. He is a Dodge or Die character at this point. Dodge or Die characters, for the most part, to me, do feel played out. I mean, you can easily just throw this guy as an extra character on the team, and then a couple of attacks will be aimed at him. He dodges them, you win easily and effortlessly, right? Or you could jump in, he could get washed right away. I'm sure a lot of people don't like him and probably say, what is he even doing on here? But, I mean, there's no way some character not on this list, someone would argue over STRUI. Like, there's no way people are going to argue LR Ribrian over STRUI. Like, there's no way. Ribrian, of course, who is not on the list. Then, right here, let's just go ahead and we can move quickly through these characters back here. We have LR Tech Jiren, who is right here. Tech Jiren is okay. He's a decent character. One huge problem for this guy, and it is a huge, significant problem, is this right here. This entire part of his passive probably just shouldn't even exist, honestly. I think it's just a huge mistake. It should have been something like, gets another 200%, stats if there's a Universal's Rival Saga character on the team or something like that. I don't know. Like this, the hoops you have to jump through to get this up is just such an issue. He's okay. He's the character that could sit in like slot 2 sometimes something like that and kind of be okay. He needs to get hit a lot, which, I mean, depending upon the fight, can be difficult. In the hardest fight in the game, which there's a Universe 11 mission, and I mean, there's barely Universe 11 characters, so it's a big factor for this guy. It is so difficult to get the hits in. But Jiren has other abilities, like his stun and stuff like that could be very good against, say, Dark God of the game, STR Bulma, right? Like, Jiren can, lock her down with his active skill. Active skill right here, stun, boom, and then he could then super her and stun her for 2 turns, right? So it's like, this guy's got some stuff. He's not a 0. Next, we can grab LR Broly Chai and Lemo. I think that they suck for the movie bosses team because there's no orb changers, so they're going to struggle for key very heavily. But, on super bosses and stuff like that, or maybe if we wanted to try and run them on, like, some team with a ton of orbs, like Power Wishes, certainly they could definitely be, effective. They could be effective characters, but they're a bit of an odd character. They're so greedy, right? Like, in my experience using them, they are the ultimate loser character, besides when they have 7 key spheres, and then they are literally God, right? So they're either a loser or they're God when you run this character. So what I'm probably gonna do is just have them right around here. I mean, certainly their very elite ability to have 100% dodge, I'd put them above these characters, but I mean, putting them any higher than this, no way, no way. They're a little too reliant on other characters. And I could hear someone say, oh, but, like, there's team building. Bro, this is a character that directly needs, like, a better ability to function properly, which is Rainbow Orb changing. Like, they need a lot of help to be able to function correctly. To whereas other characters later on, you just drop them and they're effective, right? Okay, so there's that. Next we can grab AJL LR Ultimate Gohan. I feel like this is probably a good spot for him. I easily could move him up. I do think so. I think that this guy is probably a tad underrated by a lot of people in the community, but I'm certainly not going to be a mega defender, because what is this guy a character that will do? Additional normal, additional normal, additional normal. Those characters piss me off. So it's like, it's difficult for me to fully go on crusade to defend him. But I think that this guy is probably going to look really, really impressive because he just got a monster weapon right next to him. And that's this guy upcoming. The fact that this guy is on Buu Saga, the LR Family Kamehameha unit is on Buu Saga, it is going to be so ultra huge for AGL Ultimate Gohan as well as Angel Super Saiyan 3 Goku. They will work effectively on that 200% Kamehameha category team. This is a guy who I feel like he's probably potentially just like a little bit of a better version. Like he's like, I don't know. He's in between. So think of AGL Dokkan Fest LR Broly, right? I feel like this guy is in between the base Broly and then the Transform Broly. Obviously, Transform Broly is way better than this guy. But I feel like this guy's better than the base Broly. But yeah, that's fine. Next, we can go and grab LR Turles. I think this is a good spot for LR Turles sliding in right about here. And I think we can grab the next spot, who, funny enough, I would say LR Broly. I'm okay with having LR Tech Broly right here. Now, Turles, I'm going to tell you all this. Turles is really good. If, like a perfect team existed for this guy, Turles might skyrocket up this list to, like, 3 or something like that. Seriously. Like, if you are able to have, like, a strong, terrifying Conqueror setup, if, like, another Turles existed that could give this character big bad bosses, thirst for conquest, destroy the universe, this character would look completely different under a perfect setup. This character's still quite good on movie bosses, but obviously there's a lot of stats. On many rotations, we're not going to have big bad bosses up, right, which huge stats. Thirst for Conquest is non-existent on the current iteration of movie bosses, and Destroy the Universe is only Turles characters. So, like, the kind of current version of Turles on movie bosses, I would say kind of like right about here. I've found Turles to be a very effective character, but again, if like a proper setup for this guy would show up, this character has a lot to offer. Very, very powerful. Support, damage reduction, tons of power, guaranteed additionals, guaranteed crits, the great link set. The character's got a lot of value. Now, as it stands right now, I will put Broly right here. Broly, for sure, does have a weakness in his base form. I'm not going to, dress anything up with that. I mean, he's got a weakness in base form. But once you transform, I was very impressed. This guy is capable of doing, like, game-altering damage to these bosses. When he does a 50 into a 35, into a 35, into a 35, he's got those turns built around it. I mean, again, a lot of people said, like, oh, he's not really that good. He's pretty weak defensively. I mean, we did the long video, man. We did not really struggle in there with this guy. This was not, like, a video filled with tons of Tech Broly deaths. It's not what happened. He was able to hang in there well. A 2.7 million super did what, like 550k damage to him? So that should give you an idea of about how high his limits go, which to me, I mean, as a yellow coin LREZA, I mean, I don't know about what other people's expectations are, but my expectation is not that a yellow coin LREZA is going to actually be on par with the new Carnival LRs and the Dokkan Fest LRs. Now, yes, we had some earlier this year who were that good, right, who we'll get to in a second, but I feel like this Broly seems pretty good. He does a lot of damage while not being a zero defensively. He is incredibly weak to, like, AoE attacks, though, so that's something to keep in mind. Currently in the meta, AoEs are not the biggest deal. Something like the 5th hardest fight in the game, the Blue Gogeta fight, has AoEs, right? Like, but like the harder fights do not. Where, certainly Broly could be, like, an AoE will just wipe him away, right? Or, in the Goku and Frieza fight, if he gets locked in slot 1, he gets wiped away, which did happen in that long video, but yeah. There's Broly right there, not bad. Next, we'll go ahead and grab LR Bulma right here. LR Bulma, I mean, funny enough, she went from not really having, like, an elite setup to being on, like, basically the 2 last teams we've gotten, sort of, in the Master Roshi team, and then also the Goku, Gohan, and Trunks team. Bulma's just great. I mean, it was fairly obvious when she came out how long she would be able to impact things. the guaranteed additional super, the multiple turn support, the rainbow orb changing, the guard, the damage reduction, this super powerful active skill. Like, Bulma just has it all. I mean, she's just an absolutely ridiculous, jaw-dropping character. That's all this LR Bulma is. She's a must-run, if you can run her, basically. Now, in 2023, we could even, run her in slot 1 and stuff like that. It was very crazy. Obviously, in 2024, her defensive abilities are not enough to sit in, like, slot 1, but she can kind of hang in there in, like, slot 2 or slot 3, depending upon the situation. Bulma is very, very good. Next, I would grab the 2 Team Universe 7 characters. Damn, I feel like I'm currently thinking about putting Bulma in front of Team Universe 7. I think that they're a lot tankier than Bulma. Yeah, they are way tankier than Bulma, though. The thing is, with their 2-turn support, you have to be doing their 18 key super attack, which, I mean, I don't know if it's a common thing for you guys, but it's very often for me that the character in slot 1 and slot 2 will kill whatever boss phase I'm on, and then, like, the character in slot 3 doesn't even get to attack. So, like, if that would happen for this character, they don't get their 2-turn support until they're actually supering. They have Rainbow Orb support. That's only for that rotation, though. I think I'll leave them right here, though, because I do think that they have much higher defense than Bulma. I mean, maybe towards the end, like, at a certain point of the fight, you can maximize Bulma still having guard while having been on several rotations to get more of that damage reduction up. I mean, obviously, on the turn where you pop her active skill, she's going to be looking quite a bit better defensively as well. But I think that this is kind of good, for kind of like these 3 characters right here. Bulma still brings a lot to the table with all of her abilities. Team Universe 7, they can work very, very effectively on that Universe 7 or Universal Survival Saga team. The other thing, too, is you only need 5 Universe 7 allies, right? So you can run, like, EGL Jiren and Topo, right? Or you could just run EGL Jiren's 200% Universal Survival Saga team, and then just, the rest of your team just be Universe 7, and you could run them. So, I do really like this character. 17 and Golden Frieza, I love them, because, I mean, it's going to be in, like, slot 2 and slot 3 every single time, but they're essentially invincible. But it's just, like, in slot 2 and slot 3. That's very valuable. Now, like Broly, they are potentially, in danger of being slapped around by, like, a locking boss, who would lock him in slot 1, or an AoE boss, certainly. But I think that this character is fantastic. Nice as well, by the way. They have 0 restrictions. So if any of their category teams gets a legitimate leader, you could just run this character on the team. You could just throw them down. I really like what... They're pretty boring, but I feel like there's a strong level of consistency and greatness to this. I really like this character, especially as fights are getting harder and harder and harder. I think that they're a very impressive character. And then finally, Cell Max. Cell Max is just on a different level than the rest of these characters. Cell Max to me feels like the most overrated character. Or excuse me. Now people are gonna run with that slip right there. I think Cell Max might be the most underrated character ever. I'm sorry. I see, like, I say that, and then a bunch of people spawn in and say, no, he's actually super overrated. No, the fuck he's not. No, he's not. It's actually crazy how people just, like, their brains just shut off when they see certain types of restrictions. He does have strong restrictions, no doubt about that. But it simply is just basically a full rotation of either Artificial Life Form, Super Boss, or Movie Bosses. Except for the fact that Movie Bosses is a top 4 team or top 5 team. Once Dokkan Fest in LR Broly comes out, who's going to be a great asset to that team with his revive and his defense to go with all these other dominant offensive characters. I don't know. Like, the fact that Cell Max is not, like, unanimously thought of as top 5 level, it's shocking to me. Shocking. You want to know who actually has the best target mechanic active skill? It's Cell Max. Cell Max has the strongest one. It's him. So, I think Cell Max is incredibly disrespected. Currently, I don't know exactly where I would have him in like the top 10 overall LRs, because obviously I'd want to use the family Kamehameha, once they officially release, and then Dokkan Fest Imp Broly. I want to use these characters a lot more to kind of get a gauge. But like Sal Max is a top 5 level character, and people they will put down top 5s and don't even include this guy. This guy, I mean, I don't know if people just turn their brains off when they're playing the game sometimes, but Sal Max is the best looking character on movie bosses. It's like, you understand when he does his active skill, which he'll do, in the toughest phase of the boss, they can't hurt him. The only bosses who can actually hurt him are, like Mai in the exciting heroine battle, or, Launch in the exciting heroine battle, who are legitimately supering for like 900 million and shit like that. Like Goku and Frieza can't do shit to him, right? Like Beast Gohan with his active up can die to Goku and Frieza. Cell Max cannot. And Gogeta, you could use his active against a dodge canceling boss. It does nothing for you. Doesn't matter for Cell Max. I think Cell Max is very, 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 very disrespected. I would be much more on board with calling him the most underrated character of all time compared to anything else in terms of Cell Max. So, yep, there we go. Let's get Sal Max up at number 10. I went through this pretty quickly here, but yeah, this is... I mean, I feel good about this. I kind of think I would put the list something like this. Again, keep in mind, LR Turles with a full power setup that was actually, like competent and competitive. Turles jumps up to maybe 2 or 3. I'm serious. Like, imagine that there was... in Dokkan Fest LR Broly, just change it to Turles instead with Turles links. And again, this guy skyrockets up, to 2. So, it's like, keep in mind that Turles is bubbling there. There's a good chance that, by the time, events get stronger, Turles is not as effective. There's a good chance, we've never gotten what Turles needs to be on that level. But, I mean, you never know what's coming later on this year, right? Maybe we get a good Terrifying Conqueror leader with big bad bosses and stuff like that. Maybe we get a good Space Shoveling leader with Terrifying Conqueror and big bad bosses, and who knows? Hard to say for sure. Yeah, this looks good. I have no issues with this whatsoever. So we look at the last Yellow Queen LR list I did here. So Ribrian got the hell up out of there, and then poor Ginyu, man. Ginyu gotta be the worst release of the year by far now. Absolutely. Ginyu's the worst release of the year, and Freeze is probably number 2. Just because these are characters who are very difficult to even use. It's very hard to even use them, right? So, Ribrian drops off, Ginyu drops off. I can't, because up until content got even harder when Tanabata started, with the Tanabata celebration, content took a significant jump up. With the Goku and Frieza fight, the rest of that Tournament of Power Supreme Magnificent Battle, then also the exciting heroine fight. Special Pose is no longer a legitimate team. It's not. Like, it can't handle these bosses. And the LR Ginyu Force can only be used in Special Pose. I can't include them. There's no way. I would put Ribrian on the list, honestly, before Ginyu at this point. Fights are just too tough. Bosses are getting too scary. So, unfortunately, poor Ginyu, LR Ginyu Force, they're very swaggy, but, they had to drop off. So, let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you guys next time.